How you doing?
Good, how you doing? Charles.
Chumlee. Rick!
What?
This guy has a Chumlee action figure you might want to look at. Damn, I look good.
I'm coming into the pawn shop to try to pawn off my knight in shining armor. I'm looking to pawn it to try to get some money for college. Every little bit will help, at least towards my books.
So where did you get this thing?
It's been at my grandmother's forever, as long as I can remember. I'd always be playing with it when I come over there, get in trouble every time. I didn't know how expensive it was until a couple years ago when I got it.
Do you know anything about it?
I heard it's worth a lot of money.
What it is, it's a 19th century reproduction of 16th century armor. Everything was fully articulating, and this is built just really similar to the way it was. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
you could do this, you could move any way you wanted. Yeah, when they made these, they didn't cut no corners. All this is hand fabricated, hand hammered. They use little teeny anvils, little teeny hammers, and they make the whole thing. This was probably a few hundred hours work by a guy who made it, okay? And this is nearly identical to what a full-size set of armor would be like.
Yes, sir.
The craftsmanship on these mini suits of armor was amazing. Every single detail was like a real suit of armor, right down to the articulating fingers. All the metal itself is original. This stuff is in incredible condition.
Looks broke to me. This side is different than this side.
No, because when they jousted back then, you needed to articulate your arms differently when you ran along with a horse. One was holding a shield, one was holding a big giant spear. I know articulate's a pretty big word for you.
I hate you.
These things were very expensive when people bought them, even in the 19th century. This would have cost you like 100 pounds. If you account for inflation, this thing basically cost $19,000 at the time.
Is that how much money you're gonna give me?
No.
Why not?
Because it didn't keep up with inflation.
It's not my problem.
So what do you want to do, pawn it or sell it?
I want to pawn it. I'm going back to college, so I'm gonna need some money to live on and pay for books, tuition.
And you just want to borrow some money against it?
Yes, sir.
And how much do you want to borrow? Pawning is real simple. You have something worth money, I will loan you money against it. You have 141 days to pay back that loan. If you don't pay me back within that time, we take ownership of it.
At least $2,500.
There's no way I can go that. I mean, I'd give you $1,000 for it. I'm assuming I'm gonna get $1,800 out of
Well,
it.
look, I'm going to college, so you could help me out a little and say, give me $2,250.
No.
If you want to give me $1,500, I need as much money as I can.
I can't do 15.
What about $1,100?
I'll try and help you out a little bit, but I'll do 1,100.
Yes, sir, that'll do.
Okay.
Deal.
All right, deal. Tell me, write them up.
All right.
I'm happy we can make a deal. If he picks it up, I'll make money off the interest, and if he doesn't pick it up, I'll make like $500. Are you William?
Yeah, how you
Hi.
guys doing?
Rick Harrison.
How you doing? Pleased to meet you guys.
Rob called, said you had some stuff you might be interested in selling.
Oh yeah, I have a lot.
Okay. So I have a client who's really looking for screen-used Hollywood stuff.
Well, I have probably maybe 3 million pieces inside the house.
3 million pieces inside that house.
Yes.
They must be tiny.
I've been a Hollywood collector of memorabilia since I was 5 years old. I started with Hot Wheels, Lionel trains. Then when I got older, I would collect everything that I could from the movies. Pictures that were signed, collect clothing. I love clothing, bathing suits. I probably have 2,000, 3,000 bathing suits. There's some really nice stuff in there.
Well, let's go take a look at it.
Come on in.
Whoa. This is absolutely amazing. So where did you get all this stuff?
I bodyguarded for 37 years. I never took money, I took stuff.
So what I'm looking for is like screen-used props, screen-used outfits, stuff that was in cool movies that's recognizable.
They're everywhere in the house. Every corner, every nook and cranny. They're everywhere that you can look.
Well, with that being said, Rick, let the games begin. Let's see who can find the best stuff. Why don't you turn around and talk to your alter ego? I'm gonna go this way.
All right, just yell if I find something.
If you find something, let me know.
#1 Ghost Rider. Hail Caesar.
Oh, Ricky Bobby race suit. Shake and bake. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so cool.
I see you found some stuff.
Ricky Bobby. It's Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell, they were the race team. And I mean, what better line can you come up with than shake and bake?
Shake and bake.
Can I just keep these here and keep on looking?
Yeah, keep looking.
Definitely a treasure trove.
Baywatch. Ooh.
You have a lot of stuff.
Just a little bit.
Well, Rob, I told you it was gonna be an overload.
Wow.
Look who I found.
Dude, this place is kind of crazy.
This is the Toys R Us of like Hollywood memorabilia. This is incredible.
So you've been here before?
Never been. I've just heard the legend, and with Williams' background in the industry, I knew he had a whole career's worth of memorabilia. But this is way beyond what I thought.
Yeah, this is kind of insane.
This is insane. Wow.
I see you stumbled across the Baywatch bathing suits. That I already found, might I add.
Why am I not surprised? You're a Baywatch fan, right?
I'm a Baywatch fan, you know. That opening sequence is a teenager's dream.
Well, I could already tell from here those are the real deal. I've handled those before. Classic 90s television Americana. You cannot go wrong with that kind of piece.
How do you tell if they're real?
The indicator for me right off the bat would be the patch. If you fake a patch outside of the studio system, they're never quite as nice. And also they're signed. And knowing Williams' background in the industry, he probably got the signatures himself, so we'll have to pick his brain on that.
Wait to check out this other cool stuff I found. It's
Okay.
absolutely amazing. Rob, come on.
Okay. Come on.
Rob, you can finally meet William.
Hey.
Oh, man, I finally get to meet you.
What
I've
an
always talked to you
honor.
on the phone all the time.
and what an honor.
How do you
to
like
be here.
this stuff?
It's incredible.
I got like 3 things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think Baywatch signed bathing suits are worth?
Because they're signed and they're coming from the man here, I think maybe about 1,000 I'd value each of them at.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, iconic 90s television.
So what would be your best price on the 2 signed red bathing suits?
I got them right from the horse's mouth. They're signed, 1,000 apiece.
I mean, I'd give you 600 a piece. I mean, I got to resell them.
I'd go 800 apiece.
Would you go 650 a piece?
No, I'd have to stay with the 800 apiece.
I just can't make no money at that. All right, so I guess Baywatch ain't gonna happen. And let's go to Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Very, very cool pieces. The fact that you recognize them without any plaque is very cool. That's what you want in an iconic costume, easily recognizable.
What do you think it's worth?
The full suit is probably a little bit more desirable because of the fact it's all there, but then again, it's his jacket. I think they're both about 4,000 each.
Okay. What would be your best price on them?
I want 6,500 for the suit and 4,000 for the jacket.
Would you take $6 grand for the pair?
No, because that's real low. I've had people in New York, they offered me $10,000 for that jacket when I was wearing it.
We go 7,500?
I'll take $8,000 and I'll throw in the orange laughing clown hat for you.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Thanks, man. Sounds like a great deal. All right, let me get you paid.
I'm very happy about selling the 2 Ricky Bobby suits. I think Rick got a pretty good deal, and that's all that matters at the end of the day anyways.
What do we got here?
Well, I got a couple of vintage F-16 test pilot flight suits and some aircraft memorabilia that I wanted to see if I could do something with.
Okay. Looks like it might be tall enough for me.
You couldn't fit in there with a chainsaw and a blender, son.
Never been up in the F-16. I've heard it's unbelievable, doing a 9G turn and everything. I want to sell my items today because this is just some extra memorabilia that I had, and I just want to see what I can get for it.
Where did you get these?
I worked at General Dynamics for 35 years. I just retired not too long ago.
So were you a test pilot?
No, sir, just a mechanic.
Okay, so you're not insane. Because
I mean, you got to be a little bit crazy. I mean, no, you got to be bad crazy to actually fly in one of these things. I mean, especially when they first came out with them and testing the prototypes and things like that.
Yeah, it gets pretty scary.
The F-16 is legendary. It's got top speed so fast, the U.S. military still considers it classified information. It's been one of the world's dominant fighter planes since it came out in the 1970s.
You know who wore these?
Well, I got some pictures that show our chief test pilots wearing flight suits.
So these aren't military?
No, the civilian test pilots wore these.
So this was basically they're walking around clothes for the day, and then when they got in the plane, they put on the pants that went around them that filled up with air when they went around a turn.
The G suit, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
They seem in decent shape. I mean, just by the tags, though, you can tell they've been washed a lot.
They've been washed a lot, yes, sir.
The F-16 is an iconic American fighter plane. But this isn't a uniform worn by U.S. military pilots during a mission. These were worn by civilian test pilots, and that impacts the price big time. So how much were you looking to get out of it?
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking maybe 500.
I mean, it's one of those things that's really hard to come up with a price. What do I think I can get out of it? Can I give you $300 for all of it? I mean, this is my problem. It's not military.
Right.
That's the big thing.
How about 3 1/4? I know what's out there.
You got a deal.
All right, thank you. I'm walking away with 325. Hopefully, I'll be able to use it before the wife gets a hold of it.
What do we got?
How's it going, man? Found this at an auction.
I can tell you, man, normally we don't take vintage clothes like this. I got a friend who owns a vintage clothing shop down the road if you want their number.
Well, it kind of was interesting because as I was looking through, it sat in my closet for a couple of years, and I was looking through, and it's got this tag inside, and it's a Codell. Seems to be some sort of magician from the 40s or 50s.
Were you going to a costume party or something?
I collect a lot of Vegas memorabilia, and I was at an auction, and there were a few items that I was interested in, and this was an item that was on the table, too. The magician's name was Codell, and he seemed to be pretty famous back in the 40s and 50s. If I get the $2,000, I'm just gonna go blow it.
This is interesting. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I've never heard the name. To me, it just looks like a suit. Is there like secret pockets in it or anything?
You know,
because he was a magician?
Everything's kind of stitched up.
Okay. Can you tell me anything about the guy? I mean, where'd he work? What'd he do?
I don't really know much, man. Not much at all.
I mean, to me, it looks like something you would buy for a costume party or something. I mean, it looks like a $5 suit that you would get from a thrift store.
And me too. I almost threw it out until I did a little searching on that tag.
Okay. I mean, the 40s were a little bit before my time, and there's been probably over 1,000 magicians play in Vegas. I mean, we got hundreds of casinos here, and just about every one of them has a magic act.
That's true.
Just tell me real quick, what do you think it might be worth?
Like $2 grand.
Okay, I don't see it. I can tell you that right now, but I got a buddy who is a magician in town, and he is pretty well known, and he does collect this kind of stuff. So we'll see if it's worth it for him to come down and take a look at it, all right?
Sounds good, man.
So hang out and don't try it on or anything. You might ruin it.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Corey says he's going to call in an expert. I'm mostly curious to see what they have to say, and maybe this expert will do some magic of his own, and I'll get a little cash in my pocket.
What's this all about?
There was a magician in the 40s, Jay Codell. I think it may be one of his suits or costumes from the show.
Well, Codell was a very famous magician in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. He was the very first magician to ever play Las Vegas. Without him, I probably wouldn't be here. Siegfried and Roy wouldn't be here. David Copperfield wouldn't be here.
So there could be some value in it.
If this is really his tales, this could be very valuable. This could be huge. Now look, there's a famous story he performed on ice at the Empress Hall in England. Here's what's interesting. He always had his maroon tuxedo. But the producer said, no, we want you in a white tuxedo. And he said, look, a white tuxedo on white ice is not gonna work. So he did what the producer wanted. He hung up his maroon suit for a white suit, did the act, but for 2 weeks, no one could see his act. Because the white ice, the white suit, with the white birds, with the colors, you can't see anything. So he's doing this. So after 2 weeks, he retired the suit and went back to his maroon suit because the producer was like, I can't see anything.
So is there anything on this that would guarantee it was from that show?
Yes, there's one thing that would give it away 100%. The tailor he used in England, which was one of the best tailors in the world, was Cyril Castle. and he had an assistant called B. Allister. And now, look at that. Look at this. It says Cyril A. Castle Limited, 10 Sackville Street, London. And there's B. Allister. That's the original label from his factory. Isn't that crazy? This is the actual suit from those 2 weeks he played at the Empress Hall.
So, Murray, with all this information, what do you think this is worth?
I would say the price for this would be between $9,500 to $12,500. It's a piece of history. You know, he was iconic. He was a pioneer in magic.
All right, Murray, before you make the rest of my profit disappear, I'm gonna...
You gonna get rid of me?
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me down. Good luck.
Thanks, Murray.
Nice suit. Thanks for sharing that with us. Really cool.
No, go.
Okay,
Let's go.
Good.
Go.
See you later.
So deal, $2,000.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kind of figured as much. What are you willing to take for it?
Well, he said 12, so I'm thinking 12.
Okay, I'd be comfortable around 5.
I'm still thinking 10.
I can bump it up to 6.
I think from what Murray just said, it's worth 10. I could probably find somebody who'd buy it at that.
All right, well, I guess this deal disappeared, and I'll, if you change your mind, I'm always here, all right?
Appreciate the time. We weren't able to make a deal today, but I'm probably going to take it down to Murray's show and see if he wants to buy it.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How can I help you?
I've got this G-suit and helmet that my brother-in-law left me. I have no idea what it's worth.
I'm ready for liftoff.
I'm coming down to the pawn shop today to sell my Air Force G-suit and fighter pilot helmet. My 10th anniversary's coming up, and I'm hoping I can do something really nice for my wife. I'd really like to get about $2,000 out of the suit, but if I have to take $1,000, yeah, it's more money than I came with.
Do you know anything about this stuff? What kind of plane it came off of?
He was flying F-18s.
It's desert camo, so I'm assuming it was probably used in the Gulf War?
Yeah, it was Desert Storm, yeah.
Okay.
A G is a measure of the force of gravity. 1 G is normal. As a matter of fact, I'm pulling 1 G right now. But a fighter pilot can actually pull up to 9 Gs, and all that gravitational pull can make you pass out. And that's why they wear a G-suit. It helps counteract the effects of gravity on the body.
You wear this, goes around your waist, and it fills up with air and squeezes your lower body really tight.
Why does it do that?
Because the G-force actually sucks the blood out of your brain and pushes it into your lower body. And if this is squeezing you real tight, it squeezes the blood back up.
This suit is amazing. From the outside, it looks like a normal green jumpsuit, but it's actually a high-tech piece of safety equipment. My guess is these things are super rare and really collectible.
How much did you want for it?
I really don't have any idea.
The G-suit's got me really intrigued. Being in this business 30 years, I have never seen a G-suit.
Really?
I actually have a friend who's a fighter pilot. He knows all about this stuff, and he'll be able to tell us what it's worth. Let me go give him a call. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good, man.
Thanks,
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to an expert coming in, and I'm hoping that he values it really high because I'd like to get my wife something nice.
Rick, how we doing?
Matt, how's it going, man? This is what we got.
Well, this looks familiar. I'm a U.S. Marine Corps F-18 pilot with about 17 years experience. I'm a graduate of the Naval Fighter Weapons School, Top Gun, and a former U.S. Navy Blue Angel pilot. You got your helmet here, and it looks like the standard helmet that any fighter pilot would wear. This G-suit looks really current, worn by all U.S. fighter pilots in NATO. And you'll plug it into the jet, and this will give you about an extra G to a G and a half.
Well, what's a G then?
You figure a top of a roller coaster where you're kind of floating in the seat, that's a negative G, and you're coming down on the roller coaster, you're getting slammed in your seat, that's a positive G. If you were to weigh 100 pounds and you pulled 8 Gs, your body would actually feel 800 pounds.
What if you weighed 325 pounds?
It'd be a lot.
What's this stuff go for?
Now, looking at the helmet here, this is actually a pretty high-tech visor. So the helmet is probably worth a couple grand, you know, at least what the government paid for it.
Okay.
This, you know, maybe a little over 1,000, somewhere in there. I'm surprised your brother-in-law didn't hold on to it. You can't buy this. This is some special stuff. It's hard to get a hold of.
Okay. Thanks for coming in, man.
You bet. Rick's concern was how to value this. It's a limited market. It's going to take a special person, maybe some old fighter pilot with nostalgia.
All right, so how much do you want for all this stuff?
I'd probably be willing to settle for about $2 grand.
I was thinking more like 500 bucks.
Ooh, 500.
It's not like there's a million people out there buying it.
Yeah, but you're not going to find this everywhere. You only get this if you were a pilot.
How about 800 bucks?
How about 15?
I'll tell you what, I'll go $1,000 on it, and I don't even know why I'm going that much.
Well, all right, $1,000's better than what I came in with.
Okay, all right. Write them up, Chum.
Originally, I figured I could get $2,000, but I settled on $1,000, and I'm really happy with that. I'll take my money and run.
What do we got here, man?
Well, this is a driving suit that I was a stunt driver in.
Yeah, this thing's in great shape. No pee stains on the legs.
I got a hold of this suit. So as a stunt driver, this suit has a lot of sentimental value to me because it was my first movie as a professional stunt driver. I'd love to be able to get $2,000 for it. I was a stunt driver in the motion picture Driven, and so I utilized this when I was doing the stunt doubling for Michelle Jourdain in the movie.
Okay.
I don't blame you if you didn't see the movie. Not very many people did.
Okay. I'm interested in the suit, but the fact that it was in the movie Driven means nothing to me. Driven sucked.
One of the cool things about Michelle Jourdain is he was one of the first Mexicans to actually bring in Mexican companies into the Car FedEx Racing Series. So he brought in a lot of the guys from Herdez and Corona and some of the other companies.
Cool. Race car driving is one of the most popular sports in the United States, and having this thing in my store would be pretty cool.
It's a 3-layer racing suit, which would enable the driver to be submitted to, like, I think it's 20 seconds of direct fire exposure. You could literally stand in a fire without getting burned.
You ever get to test one out?
Yeah, I've been on fire myself.
You were?
Yes, I was.
Okay, cool. So how much you want for it?
You know, I'd love to be able to get $2,000 for it.
Yeah, I couldn't come close to that.
Dude, come on, put your hands on it. You're gonna get some NASCAR guy, and I can guarantee you'll never find another one of these. Maybe Rick just doesn't understand that it's not a weekend racer special. It's a really high quality suit. You know, these things are the highest quality of racing suits that you can get. And plus, I mean, come on, it was in a movie.
You know, I know it's an expensive suit and everything, but you just got to look at it from my perspective.
Right.
I got to make a profit on it.
I understand.
If it was a better movie, maybe. Nothing personal.
What do you think is more in your ballpark?
Give you $1,000 for it.
How about 13?
How about $1,000?
How about 1275?
$1,250. We got a deal.
Done.
All right. Cool.
Pretty happy with, you know, I guess content is a better word to say how everything wound up. I wanted to get, you know, at least $2,000, $2,500, but look, I realize that he's in business to try and, you know, keep his doors open. So good for him. He'll be able to sell it.
Awesome.
What we got here?
Something that you don't see every day. I worked at Caesar's Palace as Caesar himself for 5 years, and I purchased this armor to help me get into my Roman character. This is a Roman suit of armor. It's not an antique, doesn't claim to be, but this is an exact replica of what they would wear back then.
Roman legionnaires wore sweatpants. Every day I see weird, and this is definitely one of those days. What are you trying to do with it? Pawn it or sell it?
I'm trying to sell it to somebody who would appreciate it and looking for something like this.
What are you looking to get for it, man?
You know, I think it's worth about $2,500.
This guy's got to be kidding me. There is nothing I can do with this fake suit of armor. Yeah, man, it wouldn't be for me at all, man. I mean, if it was old, I'd look at it, but other than having my guy there wear it in front of the store to drum up business or something, man, there's really nothing I can do with it.
I mean, it would definitely be the coolest piece in your shop. You have to admit that.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. I got a lot of cooler stuff than that.
I'd like to dress up in it.
You want to try it on?
There's a bear in the woods.
Chumley has been working for me for 5 years. He'll probably be working here till the day he dies. He's a village idiot, but he's my village idiot.
Look at that, it's a perfect fit.
Oh, big hoss. You gotta buy it, dude. Look how badass I look in it. When I put that helmet on, I felt like I was ready to slay a dragon.
No.
Do you need me to negotiate this deal?
Go ahead, chief negotiator guy there, go for it.
I'll give you $100.
No.
I'll give you $2,000.
$2,000, I'll take.
What are you doing?
I'm negotiating.
We're not going $2,000. If you want it, man, I can give you like $300 for it.
I had $300. Corey offering me $300 was just flat out insulting. I invested a lot of time and love into this armor, and I'm not just gonna give it away.
I just don't think we're gonna be able to come to a deal here, bro. If I learned anything today, it's never let Chumley negotiate. If you want to be the chief negotiator, you better practice your negotiating skills.
You make it more clear, okay?
It's not negotiating if you just give him what he asked for. You're an idiot.
I'm your idiot, Big Hostile. Deal with it. Awesome.
So what do we have here?
My handmade suit armor. I decided to come to the pawn shop today to try to sell my suit of armor. I used to sword fight and joust years ago, and I just got too old and too beat up to do it. I'd like to get 1,000 out of it. Just want to sell it.
Knights were some OG gangsters, right? They pretty much just did what they wanted.
Well, technically, you had to become a knight by order of the king or the queen. It was a title given to you. You know, starting in like the 1200s, armor became popular again in wars in Europe. It got heavier and heavier due to the fact that the weapons became better and better and better. And it eventually got to a point where if a knight fell over in battle, he couldn't get up because he's wearing 90 pounds of armor. A metal suit of armor like this is what knights wore in the Middle Ages. They're built to withstand arrows, sword strikes, and the earliest guns couldn't penetrate them. But as firearms got more powerful, eventually they went bye-bye. All right, well, tell me all about it.
Well, most of this is recycled car parts, basically, car hoods and stuff like that.
So you basically have a suit of armor made out of Cadillacs and Buicks.
Yeah.
So it could take a nice kung fu slice from a sword?
Oh, yeah. Hit me?
I don't want to hurt you, man.
You're not going to hurt me.
I don't know.
You need me harder than that.
How much did you want for it?
Think about 1,000.
It's really specialty, not to be mean or anything. It looks pretty beat up.
Well, it's been used, yeah. Well used.
It's interesting and everything, but I don't think I have a shot in hell of selling that thing.
You got an armor tournament coming to Vegas in next month.
I can see that you put a lot of time and effort into it, but it's not really historically accurate. I don't see a particular style there.
I'd take 500 even, you know.
You know, I'm not putting you down or anything. I'm sure there's people who would want to buy this.
Right.
It's just not me. I don't see it there. I'm sorry. Thanks for coming in, though. You got to be careful when dealing with a guy who's carrying a sword and jousts for fun. But he seemed to take it okay.
Hey, mistake.